Here we go again. Another tier list. This time it's all the Saw movies, including the 2 spin-offs. Why? Because Saw X comes out later this year, so I'm doing this now. Alright, categories are: the best one is I want to play a game. I want to play a game. His most probably like legendary quote of John Kramer, Jigsaw. Under that, we have live or die. Make your choice. Under that, we got It's a Trap, which was, I think, the tagline for Saw 4. Game Over, which is doesn't necessarily mean the movie sucked. It's just the least strongest in the film series, I guess. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, game over. Let's start off with the spin-offs first. Spiral. Spiral was with Chris Rock. When 2018's Halloween came out, I saw it was, I think, produced by Danny McBride. Danny McBride is the comedian / actor. And I was like, 2018's Halloween was great. If a comedian can make a horror movie a good one, a great movie, and then I saw Chris Rock was in Spiral, I was like, if Danny McBride can pull it off as a producer, Chris Rock can surely pull it off as an actor in the movie. He's the main dude. Spiral, I think, takes place. If you watch all the Saw movies, there's a certain way you gotta watch them. You can't watch them in the order they came out. Spiral, this one, Jigsaw is already dead. I think this takes place after the last Saw movie, Saw 7. That last trap at the end where it's supposed to be like a puppeteer holding up the bad guy, I think Samuel Jackson. That trap was like really cool looking, very clever. As far as the movie itself, Spiral, I'm gonna put it in its trap. It was good, it wasn't great. We got Jigsaw. Okay, so Jigsaw takes place between... Okay, I think Jigsaw was supposed to be the official prequel to Saw 1. This is before he meets the doctor. This one, again, at the end, the laser trap, where the lasers go... I'm sure you've seen it. The lasers go off, and then the lasers go in to the guy's face. It cuts his head open like a slice of pizza. Like 6 slices or 8 slices of his head fell forward. You can see his brains and guts and all that stuff. As far as the traps in this one, like they really had to think to come up with traps for this one. Like this one, Jigsaw, I'm gonna put it in game over. Spiral was a little better, but Jigsaw's one of the weakest ones in the whole franchise. All right, now we're getting to all the original Saws. Saw 1. Saw 1 started it all. People liked it. They wanted more. I want to play a game. The traps in that one were very simple. One of them was, I think, one guy had to get from one side of the room to the other side of the room within a certain time. But to do that, he had to go to like barbed wire. Very simple. Another trap in there was like some guy had to find the antidote to a poison in his body or something like that. I think that was like the final revealed trap. And then the main trap, they gotta saw through their legs to get out. Very simple. That one goes to the top. Saw 2. Oh, one of the most like traps that made me go ugh was the girl. The glass box, she puts her hands in. She tries to get the needle. And then I don't know if she gets it or not, or if she drops it or whatever. She puts her hands in, but as she puts her hands in, she puts her hands in through blades. Like these are blades right here. It goes in easily, but if you try to take it out, your hand will cut on the blade. So she was stuck there. That trap was very clever. And then you got the needle pit trap, where you basically literally have to find a needle in a haystack. Saw 2, I put it in It's a Trap. It was good. Saw 3. The protagonist in this one has to go through a series of games he has to play. One of them was he has to save a girl from freezing to death. Another one, he has to save a judge from, what was that one? A judge from like drowning in a pit of like pig's blood and pigs that were shot up in a machine and got dumped into a vat into, I don't know, that and then the last trap called the rack, which at the time of the 3 Saw films was probably like everybody's favorite trap, the rack. That one was a little better than Saw 2, but not as good as Saw 1. Saw 3 I would put in Live or Die. All these posters, notice them how Saw 2 was 2 sawed off fingers. Saw 3 was 3 teeth. Like 3 teeth. They could have used like 3 fingers or something. Saw 2, they could have used 2 eyeballs, but I don't know. Okay, Saw 4 is where it gets, the story timeline gets complicated. Saw 4 takes place, I don't know, in between, or it takes place during Saw 3 and Saw 5, I think. Okay, that one was after Saw 3. In Saw 3, Jigsaw dies. In Saw 4, he's dead. But Agent Hoffman, I think, he goes to the autopsy people. They dissect Jigsaw's body. They find a tape he swallowed in wax. He puts it in the little play me thing. And basically, his work continues as he's dead. Saw 4. What traps were in this one? Saw 4. Some girl, she was attached to a chair, and she had her hair in a braid. And then the end of her braid was attached to a bunch of spinning gears. Once the trap starts, the gear starts spinning, and it starts pulling her braid. And it's pulling her braid, you see it like rips off her scalp. It was very gruesome. Saw 4, I would put. Saw 4, I'm putting it with Saw 3. So, the poster of this one was his head. Next up, we're off to Saw 5. This is the one with Agent Strom. Agent Strom finds out Hoffman is working with Jigsaw. The trap at the end of this one, the very, very, very last trap, was a trap that is like, I don't think it's ever been done in film before. It's just the basic trap of you're stuck in the middle and the walls are closing in and they crush you. Very classic original trap. This one takes place as the events of Saw 4 or Saw 3 are taking place. Very complicated. But yeah, Saw 5 was not as good as Saw 4 or 3. Bring it in its trap. Saw 6. Saw 6. Which one was this one? Saw 6 was with that insurance guy, right? Yeah. He's running through a set of traps himself. And then, yeah, I remember this one. This one of the traps was, I think it was 6 people in I think it was a carousel. And then it starts spinning. And then wherever the carousel stops, there's a shotgun pointing at the person. And the guy playing the game, he has to decide whether to kill them or let them live. I think he has to only let 2 people live, and he has to kill 4 people on that carousel. And then the last trap, the very last trap in the movie, he makes it through all his games. He gets to the very end. He's like leaning against a wall or a fence. He doesn't know that behind him, above him, are like a bunch of like needles. So this is him, and the needles come crashing down. They impale him, and then like concentrated acid goes into his body, and the dude just melts. Saw Saw 6, I'm putting it in. It's a trap. Yeah, it's a trap. The last film, Saw 7. Well, it wasn't called Saw 7. This one was called Saw 3D. Because back at the time, they were releasing all these movies in 3D, which was the thing back then. But then that just quickly died. There's no more 3D films anymore. Saw 3D, which Saw 7. And this one was it. This one was supposed to be the final chapter. It's called the final chapter. This one, we get to see, I forgot what the trap was called, but the trap was wearing that device in the head where you have to get out in time. If you don't, like, it rips your jaw open, it rips your head apart. The reverse bear trap. That one we see it in full effect. I'm not going to say who's in that trap, but it does go off. You see the explosion. You see the tongue just laying there with no upper jaw, no face. Oh, it's very bloody. You get a surprise in that one. The original guy from the original Saw that does cut his leg off to escape from that nasty ass restroom, he comes back, makes a surprise cameo, and he saves the day, sort of. I'm putting it in Live or Die. Clever poacher for Saw 3D. The tagline for that one was, besides the final chapter, it was heart pounding. As you see here, it's a picture of a heart and like fists coming out of the heart pounding. That's it. The tier list of Saw movies. Why? Because Saw X is coming out this year. I don't know how that one's going to play into all this, into the story. But in this one, the original Saw was the best. The weakest one was Jigsaw, the spin-off. I'm thinking about doing a tier list of like every single Saw trap. There's like a lot of them. But as for now, this was a tier list of Saw movies. I want to play a game. Thanks for watching.